It's a funny thing getting older. And I say older, I don't say old, as I'm only 48. But let's face it, I mean, I'm not 30 anymore, and like many, I mean, you feel young. So yeah, there are like just a bunch of horses here. Yeah, let's see this. I don't know if you can see this, but there are like a lot of horses coming here past me. Have to adjust the camera again. Okay, so there are like 100 horses that flew past my car here on the main road in Iceland, so sorry about that. What I was saying is, yeah, I'm definitely getting older, and you know, for the majority of my life, I've always been like, you know, aware of the fact that, you know, you're young, you have youth, and I've been blessed with good health in general, I would say, and you know, try to take care of my body, and you know, I think I've eaten decent food through my life. Not always, but you know, I try. Never smoked. I've drank a lot of alcohol. I quit like 9 years ago. But you know, one day you're gonna wake up and you notice that things are changing. And I don't know if you have experienced it, but I remember just looking at the environment, looking, you know, at the surrounding, the sky, the buildings, the city I live in, and just something feels different. Everything looks the same, but it just feels different somehow. And it was a few years ago that I realized that I was starting to imagine how my life would be, you know, once my loved ones are gone, like my parents are gone, like my father is already gone, and my mom is getting older. I've been fortunate in the sense that my mom was only 23 when she had me, so I've been blessed with having her for a long time in my life, and her mother was also young and when she had her, so I had all my grandparents alive until I was 41. And yeah, my grandparents were like had like a big impact on me, like regarding values and a lot of other stuff. But yeah, as I'm rambling on here, sorry, but like, yeah, as years go by, and I would say after 40, especially after 45, you just start to, you know, realize that time is ticking. And maybe you have kids, you have aging parents, you just start to realize that how precious time is. And you probably heard the saying, you know, time is your most valuable asset. And I've heard this phrase like through my life, and I really never understood it, because when you are, you know, young, the feeling is that time is limitless. You're never gonna get old. When you're 35 or 30, that's when I would say, yeah, you're peaking as a living organism, like physically, I would say, not mentally, but you're in your prime. And the feeling is that you're just gonna stop there. But no, like, it continues. The years just go faster. They start ticking faster, going by faster. And before you know it, you're 40. If you're in your 20s now, you're going to be 40 in a blink of an eye. And what I'm feeling now is just, I've lived almost half a century now, and there are like, I would say, 2 generations below me now, and I'm becoming the old guy. I thought I was never going to become the old guy, but I look in the mirror and I'm getting older, and my gray hairs are. I used to be red-haired, but I don't know if I can say that anymore. But yeah, friends will definitely start vanishing from your life, and I'm not saying this like as a doom and gloom. I don't want this channel to be depressing in that way, but I just want to talk about my life experiences and what I'm going through. And I decided to have children after 40. I had my first one when I was 23, so I took like a 19 years of break from having children. And having children in your 40s, well, then your time is gonna be even more valuable, because while most people are, having teenagers at that time, or even older, they are starting to ease down. Like their hardships are more or less regarding raising child. I would say, it gets easier after they get older. The problems get different, but having small children, that is definitely a lot of work. So I would say it gets easier in the sense that you don't have to take care of them like babies. They more or less take care of themselves in that way. But no, but so I'm not in that phase right now. I'm having small children, and I'm very aware that they are only small children for a while. And I mean, my boy is starting school this fall, and the seriousness of life is beginning. But yeah, some friends will definitely disappear in your life. You're gonna start having aging parents. My mom is getting older. I mean, even though she was young when she had me, she's now becoming 71. She has Parkinson's, and I'm just very thankful for every month, every year now that I have her around me. But yeah, it's like, it's not a good feeling, but it's not a bad feeling either, aging. As your body starts changing, but you just become wiser. I just feel I know so much more now what I want in life versus 20 years ago. So in that sense, I feel good about aging, but for getting older, it's just really interesting. It's just so interesting to have lived now for almost half a century and gone through all of these changes in society regarding technology and like development. And I've traveled a bit. I've lived abroad. I've moved over 40 times in my life. When I was 40, I was counting all the times I've moved places in my life, and surprisingly it was 40 times. So I've lived in 3 other countries, not including Iceland, where I live now. I feel like I've seen a lot of things. I mean, if I would stop existing today, I mean, I wouldn't have regrets in the way that I did things that I wanted to do, even though it maybe was a little bit expensive in many ways, but I'm glad that I did them because I have the experience. So for the last, I would say, 2 or 3 years, I mean, have been very interesting in this way. I've become very much more aware of, like, I'm just noticing a lot more things somehow, and becoming, like, looking at how people interact, how they behave, how a lot of people are, wasting my life, how I wasted a lot of my time chasing a lot of stupid things when I was younger, when I should have been, doing other stuff to prepare maybe for the future. I mean, I learned the hard way, but I learned. I know now what I don't want in my life. So in that sense, getting older is a nice experience. I just wish I knew a lot of these things when I was in my 20s. But some things school won't prepare you for. Some things your parents can't really prepare you for. And the only way to learn is just to hit that bump on the road of life, I guess. Yeah, so guys, like, value the time that you have with your loved ones. You don't know how much time you're gonna get. And yeah, that was just something I wanted to talk about here on my ring road in Iceland. If you like the video, if you want to support the channel, then hit subscribe